Welcome back to the Tu-Vie podcast, your movie entertainment needs podcast. I am your host, James, and sitting with me, as always, is my co-host. He really slammed that drink down hard, man.
How you
Yeah,
doing? How you
all
doing,
right,
dog?
all right, man. Dog, that's a new one.
Yeah,
I don't think you've
yeah.
ever
We're
called
gonna
me
start
dog.
the episode right on this one.
We're
We're
gonna get
gonna mix
those.
it. Yeah, we're gonna fill in that extra energy because we're
Because yes,
missing someone.
we are missing someone this morning who I think he's starting to quit on us. Really, at this point, Cameron,
Yeah.
he's starting to give us out. I don't know. I don't. And you know what?
That
Frankly,
sucks
it
too.
sucks for him. He's missing out on a great episode because today we are talking about Guillermo del Toro. I've really been waiting to talk about this one. I really love getting to watch this movie. So let's get into it. Colin, like we do every single time, with our director, top four known for. Let me hear it.
Shape of Water, Crimson Peak, Hellboy, and Pinocchio.
Oh, 3 out of 4. I think that's your best one, dude. 3 out of 4. Way to go. So yes, I'm gonna go from the order that I wrote it. So Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, The Shape of Water, Pinocchio. The
Okay,
Netflix one.
not bad.
That is actually a really good
I
top
thought
four
it would
known
have
for.
been Crimson Peak. I
I
I
never did watch that. So
because like that, like usually there are some, and every time I list these, I'm like, these are the ones that a normal person would list. And I had to throw in that one there because it's
that's
like
fine.
but dude, I didn't know well, I knew it was popular, but I thought it was like that Scott Pilgrim kind of thing where it's like, it didn't make that much money. Not a lot of people talked about it, but it had a cult following that built up.
I could have sworn Scott Pilgrim made a lot of money though.
It did not perform that well
Really?
in the box office. That was one of the issues with it coming out, is that I think the marketing for that one was also bad.
Well, all right. So yeah, obviously, I think with the other top four known fours we've had, this is the better ones. Cameron has stated very many times that the IMDb is not a great app for these kind of things. Like the one we did for Greta Gerwig was more of her acting and I think a little bit of her directing, which is fine because she was more like she has more credits as an actor, but she has such a stellar career as a director. But yes, Guillermo del Toro, truly a master of modern cinema, especially with monsters. Like that whole dark tone monster verse he
Yeah.
does is really well done.
He's
I've
a
always
very if
no.
Sam Raimi is like if Sam Raimi is horror, Guillermo
Mm,
del Toro was like very
spooky.
whimsical old time fantasy, like because
Yeah.
you see it throughout, like it's prevalent, but like he really shows off with the monsters, though. He really does.
Yes. Yeah. And I want to get to that monster bit in a second here. But which ones did you get to? Or like the ones you so
Hellboy.
let me say this. The ones you haven't already seen, were there any ones that you like these were new to you?
No, it was really it was a real struggle to even like try to find some Gilmore, because like there were a couple ones. There was one of like that little boy that's like a ghost. Um,
What are you talking about? The little boy that's
yeah,
a
there was, I
ghost.
forget the name of it, but like it was
Oh, is it the
it's
puppet or something?
nope, it
No.
was a ghost kid. It was one of his earlier work.
Hold on. Director or
Um,
writer?
what are you talking about?
Oh, I'm trying to
Oh,
find.
I just type in Guillermo del Toro movies on Google
Okay,
and then
yeah. Well,
pop up in his movies and TV.
I thought maybe if
I wouldn't be able to know that off the cuff,
well,
dude. I'm not.
Ghost. Guillermo del Toro, Ghost
Um,
Boy. Hold on, let's see this. Oh, The Devil's Backbone.
that's what it was.
It's
Uh,
inspired by a real life experience. Did you know that?
oh, is it? That's really cool. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's what
know
it says
that.
here.
I couldn't find that one.
I don't
But
know
it
if
was
that's
easy
much
for
out there.
me to watch the rest of his movies because I own them because,
Oh,
hey,
really?
Gilmore, he's one of the few directors where I actually committed to, buying all of his movies and just binge watching them. So I watched The Shape of Water, Hellboy
Hmm.
1 and 2.
What's your favorite
I,
Hellboy?
my favorite Hellboy is Hellboy 2. I really like
That's your
Hellboy 2.
really you like Golden Army much more than the first one?
Yeah, Golden Army is amazing because there's they also play a song that's really like, because Hellboy and
Oh, spoilers.
yeah, spoilers for a
Spoiler
20-year-old
warning.
movie.
Colin,
So
wait, the demographics change,
and
dude.
yeah, I know demographics change, but also like
I
if
don't
you didn't
want
know, you'll never know it. So
to.
I forget the why am I blanking? It's early in the morning, guys. I
It's
apologize.
not that early.
Who's the Yeah, it is for me.
It's 10
And,
o'clock.
how late did it take for you to wake me up? Well, who's the Hellboy's girlfriend? I forget her name.
Oh. Liz.
Liz.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember the line where he goes, "Oh my God, Liz, you're pregnant." I was trying to trigger that, but I couldn't remember it. That's the only way I can remember
By
it.
the
Because
way, that guy you're talking about, I Doug Jones is the
yeah,
most known unknown actor, if that makes sense. Everyone has seen a movie with Doug Jones in it, but not known it was
more
Doug
like a
Jones.
background character kind of side,
Well, no, it's more of because he's wearing prosthetic stuff. Like in Hellboy, he was the blue fish in Shape of Water. He was the similar thing looking to Hellboy, which I
You remember?
honestly, for
Do
a
you remember
second,
those series? Those
yes, I
series
really
of
remember. I was
the
gonna
water
say,
being prequel.
yeah, I remember thinking and like kind of thinking like, dang, is Shape of Water a prequel to Hellboy?
Yeah, dude. I I was really invested in that because I didn't want it to be like because the truth was like right there where it was like, oh well, just Guillermo del Toro knows a guy that could be in fish prosthetics, because prosthetics are
Hours.
terrible to, be, wearing all day.
Mhm.
You get paid a really good sum, but like, dude, takes a
Yeah,
toll.
and he's also the one in Pan's Labyrinth that has the eyeball hands, like that. You know what?
Oh, I did not know that. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
dude, this
Now
this
now
guy
that now
has
that you say it, like, the bone structure, the face structure of like it makes a lot of sense. That's really
yeah,
cool.
dude, he's been in so many things. He has 177 acting credits, and I feel like 100 of those people don't know it's him because
Yeah.
he's super well known. I think the most recent one he did, I didn't see Hocus Pocus 2. Did you see Hocus Pocus 2?
No.
Okay. He did.
Why would
I
you
don't
think
know.
I
I
would?
don't know. I don't know if you're into the Sanderson sisters. And it was Halloween not that long ago.
I don't know who the Sanderson sisters are, but Hocus Pocus is a cool movie when you're like 7. But like it's not one of those movies for me where it holds up like the rest. A lot
I
of
never
people
watched it, so
a lot
I'm
of
not a big
people
fan of
have
it.
warmth in their heart more than I do.
Yeah.
And
Dead people have more warmth in their heart, Colin.
yeah, Jesus. That's
Sorry.
my God.
Sorry. Okay,
It's a
excluding
different way
Hocus
to
Pocus,
start
I don't
X
know.
on.
Sorry, I just didn't know if you saw that. No, his
Real,
most
real
recent work.
quickly,
Huh.
real quickly. I want to know what is your favorite Hellboy?
Oh, the first one by far.
Why?
I love the way they have that story paced out differently than Golden Army. I felt Golden Army was a little drawn out,
Oh,
and
you
I
don't.
I just I don't know. It was just like I felt they were trying to set up more, but they knew they weren't gonna get it, you know. And I felt like with
Well,
with the
later,
first one, it
later
was
they
just
did it.
really good. With
Yeah, dude,
later,
they were setting up for Hellboy 3 where like,
I
the
know.
problem comes true.
Yeah, I
They
know.
didn't know that they were gonna get shit canned.
I know. I'm just saying. It just didn't. It felt so much more build up than it did story. I think, in my opinion, and I like the first one more because they got the whole Hellboy crown thing as well. They got the whole the horn crown and the duo is pretty
Yeah.
rad. That's a solid. Did you watch the David Arbor one?
No, I never did.
I never did either. I maybe heard one good review out of the 4,000 I heard bad.
I've heard that it the CGI gets really terrible,
Mm.
but also the prosthetics, some of the prosthetic makeup in that one was like really good because David Arbor looked amazing,
He looked
first and foremost.
great. Yeah.
He looked awesome. Also, I think there was Lobster Johnson in that movie, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that.
I think the
But
prosthetic work for Arbor was way good because I mean, of course, over time the thing progresses and it becomes much better. But I mean, even the one back in 2004 was super good.
dude, I'll tell you this though, the first trailer to Hellboy did not help at all because it just was like it was like, oh my God, we're gonna get the rated R Hellboy, like serious gritty take, and then it just like David Harbour comes like, hey, I'm on your side, and then they start playing Billy Idol. I'm like, dude,
Hey,
what's going on?
what do you got against Billy Idol?
I have nothing against Billy Idol, but also it was not the movie that they were talking about before
That's
the
true.
trailer came out. Dude,
I will admit
it
that
was a different it
it's
set you
different.
back. You're like, whoa, dude.
I thought it looked kind of good. I liked the Money Money song used in that trailer. I thought the piano bit near the end was really good. Either way,
Yeah,
we
when you
go.
get used to it, but when you're in a movie theater and you're like, whoa, what's going on? And then like, you only watch it once and then you don't have time for it to sink in. So you're just left with that feeling.
I
Doesn't
never
help.
did actually. Oh, I never did watch it because I just didn't feel like I just didn't. I don't know. I wasn't secure going to go see it.
Oh, I was still talking about the trailer. I wasn't talking about the
Oh, my
movie.
bad. Sorry. Well, I know. I thought it was pretty good. But by the way, for the most recent guy that Doug Jones did was in the What We Do in the Shadows TV show. He played the Baron. That please tell me you've seen that show.
I've seen a couple episodes. I don't know which one you're talking
Really
about.
good. He was like the really old, decrepit one that they sent in the coffin to Staten Island. Whatever.
Did they have like the coffin and like the
Yeah, they
middle
had the
of
coffin
like
in the
where the
attic.
stairs were and then like
Kinda.
they sit there?
Yeah.
I think I know that episode.
Okay. Well, that's
But
what
that's
that
as
was his
far as
most
I
latest
remember.
role.
Well,
But
that's pretty cool.
yeah, we're not talking about Doug Jones. Though. We're talking about Guillermo del
Well,
Toro.
speak the up, James. Let's go. I want to get
Thanks,
out of
man.
here.
Thanks, man. For his credits, he has 24 director, 38 writer, and 20 actor credits. I didn't realize he actually had some acting credits under his belt, but
Because of he was all those monsters.
yes, I love his directing as much as I love his writing, but I'm much more of a fan of his writing by far, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think he does great with both, but I much prefer studying more his writing about it because I think when you said it earlier, that when he does these things with monsters, I like the I'll use this word so you don't have to. I like the juxtaposition that he uses between the humans and the monsters. I think it's great that he shows like humanity through monsters and then monsters through humanity. Greatest
Love is more
example.
prevalent, which
Yeah.
it's still very profound, but
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of sincerity whenever there's not going to be a movie that Gilmore where G where detour guys, real quickly, I just have to point out that it's
It's
super
not that
early.
early. It is 10:30.
Dude, I told you what time I went to bed
Whatever.
last.
Del
I'm
Toro.
telling you.
With Guillermo
So
del Toro.
detours, what he does is that he's very dude, I lost my point.
Oh
Damn
my
it, dude.
god. You're the only one that went off your own tangent. You were talking about love and humility through all the
Oh
fact.
yeah, yeah. There's not a movie that he makes where you're not gonna have a scene where you see a monster through a different lens
Yeah.
of like a more gentle or a sincere lens, which is, which is the biggest reason why he cried during his Oscar speech. Did you watch his speech when he was accepting the
Once.
Oscar for The Shape of Water?
Once.
It was
Like when it
it was
came out, I saw
wholesome,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
It was wholesome as well, dude. He also seems like such a sweet guy in real life.
Yeah, he does seem
That
nice.
was a random thing. I just want to point that out. Like
Yeah.
he's awesome.
No, and he's definitely a definite staple to the movie genre, not genre, the movie entertainment industry. And I think the way he does show sincerity and the way he does use love as a prevalent element in his movies is not because like he's like pushing some kind of other thing other than like there has to be kindness in this world. To be understanding is to have love, and I think it was great. Like it was obviously more prevalent in The Shape of Water, where everyone is studying this and hurting this creature, and
Each other.
well, that's two different things, but you definitely led to that thing from Hellboy. But I think which is where I'm getting with this question now. What do you think his best work is? Because I think both with his
Pinocchio.
I was gonna say with his messages, his everything is Pinocchio. Because for every like 15 minutes I'm watching this and invested in it, I have to remind myself that that's not animation, that's stop motion, which is more impressive because the way they did all that just made it seem so fluid. And I remember, I think it was when he was on Fallon, he was saying that when they were making this movie, he wanted to make the characters with like small imperfections, like tripping over a stone in the stone walkway, or like when Geppetto was getting up after that rager of alcohol, kind of like slipping his hand and stumbling every now and then, still kind of reeling from all that. I think was really impressive because it showed both the craft he put into that movie, because that movie was awesome just as a
Yeah.
whole, but then two,
Really,
just to show it, like how
did
far
you
they can
tear
go.
up, dude? Did you
Oh
tear up?
yeah, oh yeah,
Dude, it goes there, man.
it gets you
It
there. I
really
was definitely crying. Yeah, I mean, Colin,
hit me
you've been
where I
there.
lived. It just reminds me of that Robo Chick and Darth Vader, where Darth Vader and was like, "That really hit me where I lived," when the guy brought his daughter to work.
Yeah, yeah, with Gary the Stormtrooper, that
Gary
robot chicken
is,
bit.
it is 100 degrees out here. Just goes off on her in that sand planet. Forget the
Such a
name of
great.
it. I'm sorry.
You mean Tatooine? Right, it's right on the hat, dude.
Oh, is it? Oh, I
And
thought that
it's
was
not a
an
sand
Indiana.
planet. It's
I
not a
thought it was an
sand
Indiana
planet.
Jones
It's
thing.
not a sand planet. It's a desert planet. There's a difference. It was once a
Hey,
watered,
are they
rich,
standing? And
oceanic planet, and then I can get into that bigger thing. I need to
She's
talk about this. Sorry. As much as he does great with monsters and he does great with emotion and love and everything, the other thing he did absolutely incredible with monsters was Pacific Rim. I completely forgot that he did Pacific Rim.
I did not, dude. I've seen the Pacific Rim trailer so many times, and I always remember from Guillermo del Toro,
Hey,
where they're playing that oh yeah,
you
it did
said
that.
it. Look at you go.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Hey,
I don't think I've ever seen you smile that hard in quite some time.
I was so proud of myself. Um,
Awesome.
but like,
We
have you?
teach kids how to read here on the Tu-Vie podcast. Just keep saying it; they'll learn.
Yeah, though, we'll do it. We help kids that need
We
speech therapy.
it's no, it's like the Zoolander. It's like the Derek Zoolander School for Learning for Kids who don't know how to read and stuff.
Oh God. But Pacific Rim is just such a what a movie. What a
Great movie.
blockbuster.
It's
That's a block.
so good. It's so good. Like I said, I remember when you and I think we were like driving to dinner or something like that. And I'm like, hey, remember that Pacific Rim riff that they had, like the soundtrack with the guitar and I think it was like trumpets or something, just at the same time. Calling if you gotta play it, we can't play it here.
I know you can probably mute this part. I was gonna let you know. But
There's
I
no
have
point in
it
playing
saved.
it. You
Well,
have
I
it. What
want
do
to
you?
make sure we're talking about dude, I want to
It's
make
the
sure we're
one.
talking about the
It's
same
the one
one.
that. It's the one that goes. It's like.
Yeah, that's not gonna help me.
It's the only good one on the
And
soundtrack.
also, by the way, it says Pacific Rim main trailer music. So, you know.
That's. I'm gonna send you the literal link to what I'm talking about. Either way, Pacific Rim was incredible. Let me ask you this now. This other question, Colin, because I have a myriad of questions ready for the podcast. Which Jaeger would you want to pilot? Because there was Gypsy Danger. There was what was the one with the triplets? Hold on.
Gypsy Danger, that was like the main one, right?
Okay,
With the
so there
one
was
with the
yeah,
sword.
the one with the was the big thing there. So there was Cherno Alpha. There is Crimson Typhoon.
I'm not gonna know what any of these look like based off the name.
Colin, it's the one. So the Cherno Alpha was the shorter one with like the blocker, like the blockhead.
Yeah, no, not that one.
Whatever. Okay, let me see if
I
I can.
why why are you trying to pitch me a
I'm not
Jaeger
trying
like
to
you're
pitch you. Okay,
a
I sent you a
car
photo,
salesman?
Colin. I sent you a photo.
Okay,
Which
you
one
could have
of
told me
those
that.
four would you want
Hey,
to
I'm gonna
pilot?
fight you. I'm
I
just
like
beat the living shit out of you.
this is just
Punch the daylights out of your
this is just
stupid
too
face.
hard. Could you
Yeah,
just
I
answer that
know.
question?
Yeah, well, you know what? I was gonna say the main one. That's why
Gypsy
I was.
Danger. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say the main one, but you wanted to pitch me a stupid looking one.
That's the far right
Hey,
one.
Jaeger, I'm gonna pick a Jaeger that's respectable, that commands.
Honestly, if you're gonna pick one that commands respect, then I'm gonna
No,
pick the
fine.
one. What on?
I said commands violence.
Okay, then I'm picking the one that had the bladed hands and the rocket launchers right there in the chest. That one had speed, ferocity, and 100% the best weaponry in a Jaeger.
Wasn't that one of the Jaegers that died in the opening?
No, no, no. That was the one at the end that
Oh,
um the Australian guy was in.
well, that's the closest one I can think of Optimus Prime, so I'm gonna go there.
That's fair. All right. Well, that conversation went nowhere. I thought that really would have gotten something
Yeah,
better.
that was terrible, James. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah, that is my fault. I'm
I'm
so
giving you a
sorry.
hard
I'm
time.
so sorry for trying to
I
have
don't
a
know if you can pick up.
conversation on a podcast.
I don't know if you can pick up on my sarcasm or not.
I
So
could
it's just
pick
like
up
half the time I feel like I'm just being mean. I'm like,
I could
does
pick
he
up a
not
lot of
get
things,
it?
Colin. I could pick up that attitude as well. So, let's just move on. His new movie Frankenstein is with Mia Goth, Oscar Isaac, and Andrew Garfield, and I believe much more.
When
But
is that coming out?
it's still in pre-production.
Damn,
I don't think
dude.
that it's probably not going to come out for another
Because
year
this
and
is
a
like the
half.
third time I've heard of it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, I gotta write that down somewhere so I can remember. Like it's just no, because it's so cool to get like a detour Frankenstein movie with Andrew Garfs. I mean, come on,
We got the
and
Garfs, the Osk, and the Goth. We got a crazy stat cast. Now
she
I
was
know
in
that
she was in a movie recently that I thought was terrible.
Infinity Pool.
I hated it. Yeah, I fucking hated that.
You didn't like Infinity Pool.
No, I didn't.
I heard
It
a
was
lot of good
terrible.
things.
No, it was bad. It was awful. You watch that movie, you gag. You're gonna gag.
I'm not
There's a
watching
lot
it.
of gross.
Okay, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, don't
So
watch it. Just
I
trust
mean,
me.
you saw me. I told you I almost threw up during Barbarian. So you think I'm gonna handle that?
Yeah, which still shocks me to this day.
Shut up. You know I don't like horror. But I think whatever movie he is going to be making next with the Frankenstein movie is going to have Ron Perlman, because you can't have Guillermo del Toro without Ron Perlman. Same thing, like you can't have Scorsese without De Niro. That
Wait,
man.
Ron Perlman, he's playing a role
No, I'm
in.
sure. I'm saying I'm sure he is going to play a role in Frankenstein because he was Hellboy. He was the strong man in Nightmare Alley. He was in. He was the. Oh, he was in Blade 2 as well, which I also found out he did Blade 2. That was a weird one for me. I'm like, oh yeah, Guillermo del Toro, Blade. That makes sense. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, that does make sense now. Kind of going back
Did
and
you
re.
do the did you do any extra credit assignments and watch the animated Hellboy movies with Ron Perlman and the original cast of the Hellboy movies?
No, because I did not know they were a thing.
Yeah,
So,
they are. They're actually really cool too.
dude, I bet.
They're in the art style of Spectacular Spider-Man because the artist who is behind that Hellboy movie, he worked on the Spectacular Spider-Man, so you can notice the aesthetic is a little bit similar. The artist's name is Sean Galloway. I believe I said that right, Sean Galloway. So
Wow.
that's just a fun fact for you. So like if you want to be extra invested, it has a
Heck
really
yeah.
unique art style.
Yeah, man. And I guess I also know that there's a Hellboy movie based on the art style on like YouTube. Like you can watch like free with ads.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Called
Mike
like The Demon
Mignola,
Child or something like that. I don't know.
dude.
You can just look up Hellboy and it should be on there. Last I checked was a few years ago, so I don't know. But he was in a lot of his movies. Let me see if I can remember them. He was in Nightmare Alley. He was the strongman. I think he was in Pinocchio. I can't say for certain,
He had
but
to be a
I'm
voice.
sure. He was the general that kept trying to enlist Pinocchio in the army.
You're right. You're right. Yeah,
That was him, dude. And then I think he was in The Shape of Water as
that
well.
was a that wa- that took a detour.
What a weird sentence to say.
Well, that took a detour, man.
Yeah,
Where it in the movie,
Remember when Ron Perlman enlisted Pinocchio to go fight in World War II and for Italy of
I
all things?
know, and like he was like, "This is the next super soldier."
Yeah, he was like full Red Skull, dude.
Dude, he was Nick Fury in the Ultimate Comics, man. He
Oh,
was trying to race to win the Super Soldier War, like it nuts.
yeah. And he's
Also,
got
that's
that
a reference
voice that's
you
like,
don't get. I've been reading a lot lately.
well, you've told me about it. I mean, I've read it, but I know it. Whatever. So he's in a lot of it. I'm sure he's going to have some kind of role
For
in
me.
Frankenstein. And we like we said, he does know how to do emotion with like care and love, but I think he also does tragically, like tragedies, really well. And did you watch Nightmare Alley?
Nightmare Alley, that was the one with
Bradley
Brad
Cooper.
Cooper.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know much about that movie because
It's hard to explain what it is if you haven't seen it.
yeah, I know. I remember that it was a trailer that I watched, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, a new Guillermo del Toro movie," but like
Yeah.
it wasn't marketed. I
It
don't
wasn't
believe,
marketed perfectly at all. The
and so
trailers didn't
like I
really give
keep
a lot
on
of detail.
forgetting that it existed,
Yeah.
and I did forget, and I
And
kept on.
it didn't I don't think it did well in the box office. I don't think a lot of people saw it because it came out.
From what I saw, it was good though, because my stepdad back at when I was living in Jersey, he had it on in the background, and what I was watching a little bit was great. I know that there's spoilers, a hit and run. I just don't know who hit and who ran.
Oh, dude, that's like the last 2 minutes of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Uh,
Well,
okay. Either way,
I said
so
spoiler.
let me give you the description for the movie. It says a grifter working his way up from a low-ranking carnival worker to a lauded psychic medium matches wits with a psychologist bent on exposing him. And when you read that, you're thinking like, okay, so he's like this. Well, obviously, it's a grifter, which is like a person that kind of just like kind of coasts his way through things and
Talks
not.
on the phone while he's ordering in line.
I can't hold on. Let me see what it's like. I know I know what a grifter is, but like I can't accurately explain it. So so someone who swindles people out of money through fraud. In the beginning of it, you're kind of thinking like it's gonna lead to something, but really it's just him working at a carnival, which is what at when it's in this time period they were doing. They were just taking people for their money. And so he kind of does this and becomes more inept with what he's doing, and then he grows, and it's you feel like it's like more crime when you read about it, but when you watch it, it's much more drama.
Okay. Okay. I'm down for that. Is there a monster in it? Spoilers. Is there a monster in it?
Not
Or
directly.
are you gonna, is it a metaphorical monster?
Yes.
Figured. All
Yeah.
right.
It's a good
Um,
metaphor. I'd say it's a good
no, no,
one.
no, no, no. I was hope because there was so much mystery
Mhm.
shrouded around in the trailer that I had suspicions like, oh, it's gonna go so crazy. But
I
like,
really had it. I had a big expectation that it's gonna go a sharp left at any given time. Nah, it doesn't. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's disappointing for what you want from a Del Toro movie, but when you hear Guillermo del Toro being a part of something like this, there is an expectation, and I just didn't feel
yeah,
like it met that expectation. Not to say it was a bad movie, not to say it was awful. It just was not met. If that makes sense.
yeah, that does make sense. What
And
a hack.
one last thing before we. What a hack! Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave the craft altogether. Before thing before we change topics, this is the biggest piece of I wouldn't say it, not like evidence, I'd say, but the argument now, what they are making is an argument now I get to use as a fact, is why digital media is so less important than physical media. Physical media is a dying art, and I fully stand by that. And this is a
Yeah,
quote
you
from him.
cucks. I'm right there with you. I'm
I
fighting
don't.
with you. Keep on talking.
I
Keep on
I,
talking. I'm gonna promote you.
well, I don't think buying digital movies is a cuckold, but okay. Recently, he's come out and said with Nolan. So Nolan said this like 3 days prior before he said this. And this is his quote. He goes, "Physical media is almost like a Fahrenheit 451, where people memorized entire books and thus became the book they loved. Level of responsibility. If you own a great 4K HD, Blu-ray, DVD, etc., of a film of films you love, you are a custodian of those films for generations to come."
That was really well
That's
said. Holy
really
shit.
well
That
said.
just that just proves how much smarter Christopher. I
No, that was
truly
Del Toro.
I
Del
true
Toro said that.
okay, whatever. I truly believe that he is a man who traveled from the future to the past so he can save us through like film and media and talking. And dude, that is a custodian for future generations. That's such a cool
It's a great
feeling.
title.
Like
Now
tell,
I'm no
tell me
longer a
the next
collector.
time tell me the next time you don't look on your DVD shelf, you're like, oh, I'm gonna invite some friends over and just like show this off. Like, just
Yeah, and you know what? Now I'm like, no, I don't collect. I'm a custodian for generations to come. I am a Prometheus of physical media, and frankly, I love physical media much more. And even with this happened this morning, PlayStation is no longer like they lost a licensing agreement with one of the games. So digitally, if you own, I think it was like something by Discovery or Discovery something. If you own that game digitally, you can't play it because they lost the license to the game digitally. So I think
yeah. Yeah, dude, that's the huge bummer behind buying digitally is like it's cool to have and download whenever you want to do, whether
yeah,
phone or PlayStation. But you're also signing what they're doing is legal. You're running the risk of them being like, and you can't have that anymore. And you just lost your money and you don't have like that's why physical copies are so like so crucial and important because that is you know for sure you have it. It's like it's right in my hands, I have it.
yeah,
But like
and that's what Nolan
there's
said.
nothing tangible. Like they
Yeah,
can just like one button, they can take that away from you, and that's
yeah,
so scary, dude.
yeah,
Like
and that's
that's a
exactly the
scary
point.
thought to think about.
Yeah. All right, let's switch over to some SAG after stuff. So small stuff, not a lot of progress in the area I'd like it to be. So recently, as the strikes are officially over, like they're no longer striking and everything, they are still having a lot of problems with the voting process on the contract, the tentative agreement, as a word, that the SAG after was given by the AMPTP, because there's a lot of back and forth I've seen on TikTok and social media platforms all over where people are like, this is not really that helpful. And then as well as people saying this is the best deal we ever got. And some people are like, this is AIs, like they're still prevalent, but they're not doing all this. So there's a lot of back and forth and no two sides are saying vote yes and vote no. They're like they're not there's not an agreement. They're saying one or the other. So there's still a lot of going on. Nothing's settled. That's pretty much going on with that. But also recently, this happened last week. The WGA has threatened to pursue legal action against Amazon for keeping certain shows on hold after the strike has ended. The Silk, the spider, the spider character Silk, they were gonna have a TV series with them. It says that's one of the shows that are still suspended from being worked on, even though the strikes are over.
I guess that's
Those
good.
Whoa, what do you mean
Hold
good?
on, hold on, because like I couple of things. One, and then we'll get back to the
Sure.
important stuff, is
Yeah. Well,
that
this is more
I
important.
was not that excited for Silk, and hold on, and it was a Sony thing, and this was around the time that I was, like I was like, because like we didn't get Across the Spider-Verse yet. Like this was announced like originally it was going to be a movie, actually, and then they did the Amazon thing. But it felt like one of those, like it felt like another Craven the Hunter thing where it's like, are they not even going to address Spider-Man because Silk got her powers around the time that Peter Parker did, like literally seconds later, and I didn't want it to be another one of those like we're gonna make another project, make some money, but we don't have to put Spider-Man in it.
And you're right. This was in 2018. Spider Verse was close to coming out in 2018.
Yeah, Spider-Verse was close to coming out, but they didn't have the world, the universe, and multiverse that thought out the way they did with Across the Spider.
Exactly. No, exactly. That it was not as well fine tuned before the movie came out. We had an idea that it was going to be good because in 2017, November 19th, I believe, is when that trailer came out.
The teaser trailer
The
where
teaser
it,
trailer literally shook my whole world. But that was I
dude,
digress.
that was a great day because
Such a
I
great
was a little nerd and I was listening to all the news and I heard rumblings like through one of my YouTube channels I followed at the time where it's like there's some leaks where Sony's doing a Spider-Man animated movie and the guys who did 21 Jump Street, they didn't even say Spider-Man animated movie. They said Miles Morales animated
Mm.
movie. And when that trailer dropped, I was like, what is this? And then when Miles popped out, I was like, this is the Miles
Yeah,
Morales
the
movie we were
minute
talking about.
the I didn't hear anything about that. For me, it just came as a shock. I remember I was like it was like I went to go get a snack or something. It's like midnight, and I look at my phone because I see a notification from the Sony YouTube channel, and it says Spider Man Into the Spider Verse teaser trailer. I'm
Yeah,
like, what's this? And
I was in New York.
I remember having my headphones in. I'm watching this trailer in my kitchen, and I'm like, oh, it's an animated Spider movie. Okay, I'm digging the song, and it was Home by Vince Staples, I think, that did that one.
Yeah, it was
And
home.
and then when Miles turns around and you see the black and red mask, I remember it's like when you stub your toe in the middle of the night, you have to do that silent scream. I remember just being in my kitchen, like just freaking out. And then they do the thing where he like lands on top of the building and takes off the mask, and it was just like I think I stayed up almost all night just rewatching that trailer because that was when they did the What's Up Danger. We didn't know it was then, but it was like the reverse falling thing. I
Yeah,
remember seeing that shot and I'm like, this is the greatest movie.
dude,
And I
immediate that shot is iconic, dude, of
shot
just like
so
Miles
iconic.
free falling
Yeah.
upside down. Dude, that is it is a
Whenever
it
my
is
dad and I rewatch that movie, he literally goes like this. He goes, not a word. Right as the part of What's Up Danger starts, he goes, just be quiet. Because he knows I talked. He's and in the part where you see him rising, my dad just go like this. He goes, he is in love with that moment, as we all are, but he just loves that moment so
you know what that
much.
reminds me of? That reminds me of that Tom's it reminds me of that Tom Segura where he's talking about his dad and he goes, buddy, I love watching black people have fun.
How? How does that remind? How? In what
Because
way?
that pit because like when I'm listening to that, because half the time I'm probably working or like drawing, so I'm used, like my imagination is turned on. So anytime he says that, I just imagine Tom Segura's dad, literally that face where like I need you to move your hand for this one, where he goes, yeah.
The most wild comparison you have made from my dad saying "wow." That is just okay. We should actually, we still need to do. We still need to buy our copy of the Flash so we can still have our our custody battle, but mainly so
Oh
we
my
can watch it with my
god,
dad.
We could watch it for free on HBO Max. You
Well,
don't
where's
have
the
to make
fun? We
spend
agreed.
any
We
more
agreed
money.
that we were gonna buy like
I
a
know we
$10
did.
copy or something, and we were gonna split it, and we were gonna trade it every 3 months.
I know we did.
But then we saw the
But
movie, and we didn't want to. And it was just
but
I didn't want to.
my depression has declined since then.
Well,
Don't
hold on, wait.
know
Isn't your
what's good or
isn't
bad
your
in this
depression
world.
declining a good thing?
Uh,
Because it's becoming less. You're happy more.
I am depressed. I am depressed. I am going deep. Shut the up and let's move on to SAG-AFTRA, please. My God, we are two terrible podcasters.
How we have
I don't
listeners?
know who the is left
I
listening,
don't know. I
but
don't think anyone
whoever's
make it this far.
ending in this and still left in their chairs, why don't we talk more about a strike? Because we structure these, but
Whatever.
we're too
Okay. Well, no.
dipshit.
The strike's officially over, so we're not structuring. We did used to structure it. I'm a fan of how we've been doing these for the. Sorry,
Just
that was
talking
really
about
funny.
depression, the
Sorry,
Flash, and
sorry, sorry,
Maya.
sorry, sorry, sorry. That was well. They go hand in hand. That was just really funny. Before we go on, I go into the big questions I had for you at the end. I really want to talk about some change recently I saw on Twitter. So, a man named Eric Davis I follow on Twitter. He's pretty big in the movie world and everything. I think he's a reviewer as well. I think people are like really hating on the Marvels for no reason. Like, if you didn't like the movie because you just didn't like
There's
the way it was
plenty of
done,
reasons. I'll let you finish your point though.
if you didn't like it because you didn't like the way the story was or something, like genuine reasons for criticism, I get. But if you were dismissing the movie before giving it a chance, I feel like talking about it in this volume doesn't make sense. Like, if you were not giving it a chance to go see it, why bother talking about it in the volume that you're talking about it in? But I think people are really like not appreciating how much effort Nia DaCosta, the director, really put into this movie. And
No, people are pissed off because they didn't get that movie. That's the problem.
the
Like,
thing
well,
was is
at
that
least
we
from
weren't
what
gonna
I'm hearing.
get that movie.
Hold on, hold on.
We were given a movie that she wanted to make. And I know that she wanted to
Okay,
make a certain
I
part of it.
actually spent money for that movie, so I get to talk a little bit of shit.
Okay.
Um, honestly, I get where you're coming from with that, with the sentiment of like, yeah, dude, making movies is difficult. It's hard, but what makes it extra harder also is that we get these incredible directors like Sam Raimi. We saw a little bit of his style, but also it still felt too Disney.
It is very
And
different.
we got movies like I can't think of any other besides Naya. All right, and when you watch that movie, the fight scenes are actually really fun. They're really fun. They're creative, but also there's just so much hokey Disney Rick and Morty garbage that's stuffed in that movie. And like you watch that movie, you feel like it's made by a committee and not somebody who actually gave.
Okay,
And
that
that's
I'm
the
not gonna disagree. I'm not gonna
and that's
disagree
the
that it
and
feels
that's
I'm not gonna disagree.
because I want to watch a Naya Marvel movie. I don't want to watch a Disney Marvel movie.
I agree. I think especially with Bob Iger's statement recently, there wasn't enough executives on the set. Stupid. No, that's not how that works. Okay, either way, I'm talking about her personal achievements. She's had the biggest opening weekend ever for a black woman director, which was
I
110
love
million.
Candyman. I love her Candyman. I
And
think that movie slept on.
which is then the next thing is that with her previous film Candyman, DaCosta became the first black woman director to open with a number one at the box office, and she was the top three biggest opening weekends ever for a black woman director. She now holds two out of those three. I think that's impressive. I feel like you have to
No, it is.
acknowledge what she has done historically because
Yeah.
that's impressive.
Yeah, no,
But
that is
the
still
movie itself
impressive.
may not have been what you wanted.
But
I get that.
not all the time with that though. You
No,
can
I
you
get
you can
that.
address Sam Raimi's achievements, but if he does make a bad movie or a movie that's good,
I'm not saying whatever accomplishes where a person makes in a movie washes some changes that could have been. Yes, Disney could have had a lot less control of the movie and let. Because did you hear this movie she wants to actually make? It was like a Scott Summers and I think it was like Nightcrawler X-Men movie. Like, they were. Oh, it was I think it was
a,
Storm and
a team up,
yeah, it was a team up movie that she wanted to. She like her dream movie would have been something with Scott Summers. I think it was Storm. Either way, it would have been involving
dude,
two.
give her an X-Men movie, dude.
Exactly. She has a passion for the X-Men. So
Yeah,
I especially with
dude.
Kamala and
Another thing, also, I'm sorry, and then you can say your point is that like work with the director's strengths as well. Dude, I feel like she would really make a good X-Men movie when
Yes.
you brought that up.
And
I'm
I
sorry, I
think
don't mean to cut
no,
you
no, it's
off.
okay. And that's what I'm going with is that I think if she can take two characters that people know but wouldn't necessarily give them a spotlight, she can give them a spotlight. Give her a chance to make a Marvel's movie that has Photon, Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan, three iconic separate characters, but together
I
are
wouldn't say iconic.
well, Kamala.
Photon,
I don't know. I think Photon's pretty cool with it.
you never gave a about Photon until WandaVision. Let's all be real. Let's
I
all be
never
real.
read much about her, but once I found that she was in part of the Marvel universe, I wanted to refresh myself with it. And I think
No
she's kind of a cool
disrespect, but when I
character.
think of iconic, I don't think of those kind of characters. I think of Black Widow. I think of Hulk. I think
All
of
right.
Iron
So either way
Bitch.
of the nice man of the word iconic, I think those three on a screen can produce a really fun Marvel movie. Something that
Oh, they
feels,
could.
yeah. And I feel like
Miss
if
Marvel carried that movie, dude. I love Miss Marvel in that universe. She's so great.
that's the point, Colin.
I'm adding on to your
I know.
point.
I just want to get to that
Helping me.
end. I get it. I'm getting there.
I'm sorry. I get excited,
I
dude. I get
know.
excited.
It's like a puppy. Point being,
Don't ever compare me to and I will kill you. I know where you live.
point being, those three together,
Hey, whenever you
especially,
end this.
I'm gonna kill. I'm done. I'm done. No, no one gets to hear it now. No one gets to hear this. No
Sorry.
one gets to hear this. No, that's
Say it,
that.
say it,
No, we're done.
say it, say it, say it.
No, we're done. What that said. Colin, let me get to the next topic. How
Oh my
good?
god.
No, how good do you feel now? So this was a big
That's
somehow for some reason on Twitter. This sparked too big of a fight with people. Who would win in a fight? This is an FTTD, so a fight to the death. Homelander, Omni Man, and Metro Man from Megamind.
Can we go back to the other one? I don't like this
No,
question.
no, 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 no.
I don't want to
Let's.
think on this.
No. What is it to think? Metro Man,
Omni
maybe.
Man.
No, Metro Man clears.
Have you
Dude,
seen what he does to a planet?
have you seen what Metro Man can do? He had an entire life crisis in like less than a nanosecond, dude.
You think having a life crisis will win in a fight?
I'm not saying having a life crisis will win a fight. I am saying the speed, ferocity, invulnerability was
Bro, what are
insane.
you doing here, Metro Man? He's like, hold on 1 second. Do I really want to be fighting in this
That's
right
not
now?
how that worked. You know exactly that's not the why he had the that's not why he had the midlife crisis. It was because he was just going around in circles with Megamind. I am very glad though you didn't say Homelander. The people that said Homelander for this question, no, just
Homelander
no.
is the strongest character in his universe.
Yes, thank you. I did not know we were gonna go with that.
And
Yes,
like I actually
outside
am
of
mad
his
that
world, he is a piece of paper in a hurricane. He's so weak.
yeah, like I do think that he can hold his own with Omni Man for maybe a second.
Okay, did not know how what timestamp you were gonna. Yeah, maybe a second.
Cause like, dude, I like because there's a reason why Robert Kirkman created Omni-Man and Invincible to be that powered up because aesthetically speaking, because it's a violent ass show, you need a god tier literally on god mode in a video game character so you can smash through people or have those scenes where like you're ramming into trains and holding your kid by the hair,
Yeah.
dude.
Well, I mean, they
But
also
I
there's
also
other
think
characters.
Metro Man is too much of a punk ass bitch, and I
No,
think that Omni Man would rip his. Oh my god, dude! He would use him as toilet paper. He
not
would bring
not
him
happening.
home.
That's not
He would
happening.
bring him home to his
Okay,
wife.
you got
He's
you
like,
get you got your
"Hey,
filling. You got
you
your filling. You
cleaned
got
up.
your filling.
Here's the douchebag."
Colin, you got your filling. Metro Man clears Omni Man in both strength, speed, and in invulnerability. In no way, shape, or form does Homelander make a second, by the way. He's gone in maybe a nano minute or whatever. Metro Man is far more superior than Omni Man because Omni Man preys on that fear. Metro Man literally, you think this is like I'm sure if Metro Man and Omni Man go into a fight, Omni Man would like undervalue what he could do and definitely underestimate him. And Metro Man would clear in a minute. It would be twice the destruction of Metropolis worldwide if that fight were to ever happen. Just want to let you know that Man of Steel
You
fight
know
would be
what
like.
Omni-Man would do, even if he thought that like Metro
By the
Man
way,
could
Omni
hold
Man
up.
doesn't has never faced a real challenge other than maybe Immortal and his son. There are three other characters in the Invincible universe that can easily and has cleared Nolan. Now, if this was an argument between Metro
Yeah,
Man, maybe and Thrag, or maybe Conquest, we'd have a different
yeah,
conversation.
but the second most powerful being on
Like
Earth
dude,
season
he's like the
one
third or
was
fifth.
the second most powerful being in season one on Earth at that time
Adam Eve.
was Mark.
Adam Eve.
At that time was
Okay.
Mark.
Adam Eve. She was there at that
At
time.
that time, oh, I'm at that. Okay,
What
hold
is
on,
that
hold on.
time?
Okay,
Adam Eve was the
fucking
superhero before Mark was.
listen. I know I was cutting you off quite a bit. I know I
Which
was
time?
earlier. I know earlier, and towards the end, I was making it funny. But at that time, Nolan was about to kill Mark. Mark was about to die because Mark was on the ground right now. He's like, and you know, like he's just like beating him, being like, "Hey, think, Mark, you little punk ass bitch," and then he's gonna kill him. And I'm just saying, it's like Omni Man, when it comes to it, like with his skills, his power set, what he's capable of, I feel like even if Metro Man was like a nearly as powerful, he'd probably recognize that and be like, yeah, well, there's other ways I can fuck you up.
No,
Destroy his planet, leave him alone, the only person living on that earth, and being like, all right, I guess I lost. You
no,
win,
no
Metro
way.
Man
No
flies
way.
away. And then Metro
Dude.
Man's like,
Okay, you're okay.
no,
Your time has been met. Let me stop you there. Mark didn't want to fight his dad. He was also pulling every punch he had. Mark is not a weapon. He's considered like a shield. He wants to help and save and protect the people. That's not what Mark is. Nolan was pissed off his mind because his own son, he's been kind of working up the trust to take over the Viltrumite Empire and take over his job as taking over Earth. Metro Man simply cannot, like, he can piss him off enough where Nolan is just losing control. Metro Man knows how to keep control, stay that power, but at the same time knows he's a powerful dude. Nolan just is mad, and Nolan was not the most powerful being at that time. It went Adam, Eve, Nolan, then Invincible, because Invincible wasn't using all his powers. He wasn't really still equipped with all what he could do until the most recent episode of Invincible, where he goes crazy because he starts letting go. He starts seeing the fight differently. Metro Man knew what he was, knows how he is, never has lost a fight.
yeah, neither has Omni Man
Omni
until
Man lost a few fights, dude.
when?
He may have survived the Viltrum cleansing, right? Wasn't it? Wasn't it called the cleansing?
Are you talking about season two?
No. The part where, like, on Viltrum they were having the global battle where it was like survival of the fittest. What was it called? The cleansing?
I think so. It
Something
could
like
be.
that. But let me War Beast has taken down
Yeah.
uh
Hey, you want to hear something
Thrag,
fucking
Conquest,
crazy?
his own son, Adam Eve.
You want to hear something
Nolan is not
nuts?
the strongest being on
Is
that
that
on that planet.
Metro Man doesn't have his own movie. He
Metro
was
Man,
a side character in Megamind. You didn't.
no,
We didn't. Yeah,
Omni
we
Man
got to
doesn't
see
have
him
his own
lose. We
movie.
got to see him lose. Actually, we
He didn't
did.
lose.
He gave up being a
He didn't
superhero.
lose though. He gave up the fight because he knew it
He
was the same
emotion. Yeah,
fight.
no. Omni
He knew it
Man
was the same
doesn't give
fight.
up. Omni
Colin,
Man don't give up.
Colin, here's the thing.
Live longer.
Oh my gosh, you did not just say Omni Man doesn't give up. He left planet Earth and gave up that job because he realized what he did wrong. Metro Man knows he is so powerful that no matter what happens, no matter what Megamind comes up with, he knows he will win. He knows he is so overpowered. Nolan gave up on the one job he had because he was sad. Metro Man gave up on being a superhero because he was tired of it. Like
Hey, we all have our bad days. We all
he
have our
knew the
bad.
outcome. He knew
We all,
exactly what it was going to be.
yeah. I'm just saying, it's like we had more screen time with Omni Man than we do with
That
Metro Man.
doesn't mean jack
I
anything. It's also not called Omni Man. It's called Invincible. So he wasn't even a side. He was a side character.
It
Booyah.
speaks a lot of volumes how much of a limited time you have with somebody, and
And yet
think
you
for the
know that
greater.
guy would win a fight, and that's why you're agreeing with Metro Man. Well, last thing before we get into everything before we wrap up. So this was a ranking as of November 14th. Okay. According to 175,000 votes, these are the top 10 most hated TV characters. I'm going to start with it says 12. I'm
Walter
gonna go.
White's wife is definitely on that list, is she?
You want to know what number?
Two.
3.
That's crazy.
Okay, so it says top 10, but I guess they added 2 more for honorable mentions. So these are the honorable mentions I'm gonna start with. Rachel
Prince
Berry.
Joffrey.
So Rachel Berry is number 12 from Glee. I never watched Glee. Did you watch Glee?
Yeah, I can see it.
You watched Glee?
I watched Glee with my mom for several seasons. We cried when we found out that one of the actors died, and they also had a memorial episode, and that really hit me where I live.
Never saw it, but didn't know you
I
did.
loved it when I was a
Never
kid.
would have guessed. Never would have guessed you saw
Loved
Glee.
Glee.
Wow. Okay. Number 11. This is the second one of the honorable mentions. The governor from The Walking Dead. From like season 4, I think he was the one with the
He
eye
was a
patch.
he was a bad guy, but hateable like that.
Well,
I don't know.
he did spoil it. He did kill Herschel.
Yeah, but Negan killed Glenn.
I know, and I think, and here's the thing though, not on the list.
What, Negan?
Negan's not on the list.
Because he's likable.
I don't know, but
Yeah, he is.
shut
Don't
up.
say
Okay,
I don't
okay,
know.
hold on, hold
He
on.
is.
So, hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Number 10, Emily Waltham from Friends. That was Ross's, I guess, technically
Yeah,
third wife
I'm
because
surprised it's
Rachel.
not faithful.
Well, whatever. Technically, it's Ross's third wife because I think Rachel and him got married before he met Emily. Because then,
Couple seconds.
well, then the whole thing. If you haven't seen that, wild. Number
I don't
9.
count that.
Hold
I
on.
don't count that though.
Okay, wait, hold on. This one threw me off. Number 9, Caillou from Caillou. The little bald boy somehow is the most hated TV character of 78,000 votes. They go, Caillou, stupid kid.
This is a truly,
I don't get
truly
it.
weird list.
Lori
Where did you find
Grimes.
it?
Huh?
Where did you find this list?
I found it on Twitter.
I thought it was IMDb.
No. Number 8, Lori Grimes from The Walking Dead. Rick's wife that went
Well, this
to
person's a Walking Dead fan.
that's the only 2 actually of Walking Dead. You'll probably see what more of a fan they are. So Lori Grimes is number 8. Number 7, Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. Personally, I would have picked not number 7. I think she'd be in the top 5 for sure, but we'll get it going. Number 6, Shao Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Do you
I
ever
don't
watch
know
that?
that.
That one, that's a lost one to me. I'm not really sure. Janet Soprano from The Sopranos.
Hmm.
Okay, well, that's conversation's going nowhere. Number 4, Livia Soprano from The Sopranos as well. So, okay, well, you should probably watch the show. Now we're into the top 3. As we said earlier, Skylar White is from Breaking Bad is in the top 3 at number 3.
She like I
It was
didn't like it,
redeemable,
but I
not
didn't
redeemable at
hate
the end.
her.
Like
Like
I disliked so many things that she did, but she wasn't the most hated in the entire show. I'd
there was
argue
like
Walter.
it's a show full of bad people.
Yeah, I would argue Walter is probably going to be the most hated character because that man is manipulative as hell.
Hey, but like, he's Walter White. He's Heisenberg. This is his
Walter
show.
White. It's Walter White. Yeah, Walter.
You're goddamn right.
All right, number 2, Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones. Did you start watching Game of Thrones at all, Colin?
Hey,
Okay, so that's a no. When you start watching it, Ramsay Bolton
I
is
don't
the.
think I'm gonna. I don't think I wanna.
Just
I don't
try
think.
it, Colin. Just try it.
I don't
Just
think I like
seriously
it.
try it, Colin. Seriously, give it a shot.
This is
Ramsay Bolton is one of the worst characters I have
what a great
ever seen.
what a great sales pitch. Or just
No,
watch a
no,
TV show of like hateable characters.
Colin, because when you because when you see them die, it is so satisfying.
Oh wait, is it good? Like, are they good deaths? Do they last a while?
Dude, so good. And
Oh
of
shit.
course, number 1, like you said earlier, Joffrey Baratheon. His death is iconic.
I don't think he went out the way I wish he would.
You don't know how he went out.
Yeah, he was poisoned.
You know how he went out.
Yeah,
I didn't know you knew that.
dude.
How do you
Game
know
of
that?
Thrones is a part of pop culture.
Yeah, but I didn't know if you cared. I didn't know that you actually knew that.
I knew I never wanted to watch the show, but I definitely wanted to know a little bit about
Okay,
it.
you got to give it a chance. It's truly, really, really good. Colin, can you guess our next director?
Give me a moment. Hold on. No, I don't. I can't.
You can't think of any director that we haven't covered.
Sam Raimi. No.
No, no, no. Sorry, but we were covering Brad Bird.
Brad Bird. Oh, Mr. Incredible.
Yes, and we're gonna go. It's a shorter filmography, so it'll.
Bum, 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 bum,
Oh
bum,
yeah,
bum, 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 bum,
that was
bum,
a big sentence.
banana. Yeah.
Banana.
Banana. What's
But
that?
I thought we were gonna do the last part together.
No, no, it's too late.
Banana.
James, stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
I was thinking, oh, maybe he'll join in. That's
No,
my that's my that's my fault. No, you're right. That was my fault. I should have
you can
assumed we're
never
not going to
assume.
carry a bit.
I
You
said you
started.
and me. All
You
right,
started
guys.
or whatever.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
If you
Seriously,
made it
for
this
listening.
far,
You made it this far.
congratulations. Your medal is on the mail.
I'm
Thank you
so
guys for. Can I just do the outro completely?
well,
You wanted to leave so badly.
that's why I took over. I didn't
No,
you know what?
Colin, no,
My
you do
fault.
the
You know
no,
it's my
no, no,
fault for
you
fucking
do the
helping.
you do the you do the outro. If you want to do it, let you do it.
Yeah, all right, I'll do it. Being a whiny ass
Come
bitch.
on, no.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate you. If you liked what you watch, please subscribe to our TikTok, our YouTube, hit those notification bells. And also, by the way, in advance, we do like to apologize for how dysfunctional our podcast is. We're a baby podcast. We're trying. And honestly, we've been thinking about getting rid of James for a while.
Colin, okay,
Um,
do the outro.
I thought I was.
Just
All right, fine. You do it. You do it. You know what? You know what? We're gonna watch
you were
Brad
so
Bird
close.
next
You were
week.
so
Fucking,
close.
I don't know how to do this.
I know. Thank you guys again for watching. Like you said, if you guys did enjoy, be sure to subscribe and check out our TikTok and Instagram. Also, be sure to check us out on Letterboxd. Sometimes we post out different things we've been watching throughout the week, and sometimes we post out things that are going to be related to the topic. So if you guys want to check us out there, we're all there, as well as, like I said, TikTok and Instagram. Also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much everywhere else you get podcasts. So if you want to check us out there, we're there.
You lean like a douchebag.
I'm just comfortable right now, man.
Douchebags are comfortable.
Whatever. Oh, so you're real comfy, aren't you?
No, my back's been hunched. My back is actually hurting.
Yeah. You want to talk about
Yeah.
backs hurting? Carrying the show. See you guys next week.